there was a comment made on the SEC network, and we're in day 3 of the SEC Media Days. I keep close watch on that. It's tremendous coverage in addition to what the coaches and players say. Tremendous coverage. I have varying levels of respect for the commentators, but truly, for the most part, high levels of respect. But a comment made yesterday in the discussion about Heisman Trophy candidates, and when C.J. Stroud was brought up, the comment was made that he's going to have these eye-popping numbers, but who does Ohio State play? Their schedule's a joke. And I'm quoting. I'm like, oh my! There were 5 or 6 comments made, maybe not to that degree of being ludicrous, but some ridiculous comments, because I think these people just are in an SEC silo and they have really little knowledge of what's going on outside of that conference. And then, when Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Iowa don't get your attention on a schedule, that's a bit pathetic.
Yeah, I'm looking at my wrist because I'm staring at my watch. Like, how much time do we have here? I guess it depends how you want to come at this. The Phil Steele book right here, he proclaims himself to be the best prognosticator, preseason picker of the last 30 years or whatever since he's been doing this. And on his power poll, he has Alabama 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4. So, that's what everybody is saying. You put those 4 teams in a bowl and pick them out. Alabama typically 1, Ohio State typically 2, and then Georgia and Clemson round out the top 4 on just about everybody's list. Ohio State's schedule will include Michigan, who is number 5, Notre Dame, who is number 6. Granted, they'll play both of those teams at home. Then you scan on down, and they are going to play Wisconsin, also at home, at number 12. They are going to play Iowa at home, who is number 17. Maybe that's what he's talking about, just the joke that they're getting all those games at home, I guess. I don't know. But then they're going to play on the road at number 18, Penn State. They're going to play number 31, Michigan State as well. And then it kind of falls off after that. You have to kind of search down through there for the rest of them. But those 6 games are not a joke. And they could lose any of those 6 games. I don't know that they're going to lose to Iowa. That'd probably be the one that because Iowa's just not going to generate enough offense. On a good day, they score 3 touchdowns, and Ohio State's going to score at least 4, even in a loss, as we saw to Oregon, as we saw to Michigan. When they lose, they're still going to score 4 touchdowns. So, I don't know how you would call it a joke. They are going to play Toledo, who's the MAC pick to win the MAC, I guess. But they always play a MAC teams, theoretically, just as Alabama, the flag bearer for his league, is going to play Austin Peay, an FCS school. So, it all comes out in the wash. Alabama, their schedule, they're going to play at Texas, who's projected top 25, I think, by a lot of people. At Arkansas, who's projected top 40. Texas A&M, who's top 10. At Tennessee, who some people think could crack the top 25 this year. I guess we'll have to take a wait and see on that. Mississippi State is kind of I don't know what you think about them. I think they can be a top 30, top 40 team. I don't know that they play so many tough opponents. You got to win 9 games really to be a top 25 team, or eight games. I don't think they will. LSU doesn't seem like they're going to be a top 25 team, although that game's on the road. Mississippi, they're projected top 15. That's on the road. And then Auburn, they fell off the map last year. Are they going to be able to put a football team on the field? They play them at home. So I think those 2 schedules are very comparable. And to call one a joke and to hold the other one up, and Georgia, I don't think Georgia's schedule is even as good as Alabama's, as you look at it. So, we're comparing apples to apples or apples to oranges because, these 2 teams are in the SEC. Ohio State's in the Big Ten, and there's not a lot of crossover. Like Penn State's going to play Auburn. That may be the only time Is that the only crossover or non-conference game with Big Ten and SEC? That might be it.
Yes, I believe
It's
so.
at Auburn. Now, Penn State could go down there and lose that game. I mean, it's
Sure.
such a tough place to play. It's going to
Yep.
be a 3:30 game. It's not a night game. So, we'll see. Georgia is playing Oregon and Alabama. Oregon's projected top 10, so that's a good game. At South Carolina, that's a rivalry game. Don't they think maybe top 40 for South Carolina this year? Maybe 7 wins, 8 wins, maybe. And that's like the high water mark. Auburn, we kind of already discussed. They play them at home. They should beat them at home. I mean, no question. Florida and Jacksonville, rivalry game, could go either way, but Florida's not on their level. And, not there yet. Tennessee at home. Tennessee's coming up, but it's in Georgia. At Mississippi State, at Kentucky. Could get dicey. Georgia Tech. I mean, their schedule's nowhere near as good as Ohio State's schedule.
No.
Nowhere near. Not even close. And he's calling Ohio State's schedule a joke, and yet this team, now they're going to get the benefit of playing Alabama in the championship game. I've already made my picks for the season. I went Ohio State 1, Alabama 2, Clemson 3, and then Georgia 4, just because I think Georgia could be undefeated going into the Alabama game, but I think Alabama's got the better team. I think Georgia just lost so much. I mean, they only have 3 starters coming back on defense. The strength of their team were those floppy belly 320-pound defensive tackles, up front that push the line of scrimmage into the backfield. I mean,
They sure did.
One of their best games last year was Arkansas had risen to number 8 in the country.
And
They just obliterated them
Yeah.
37-0. I mean, it was like awe-inspiring watching. Here's Arkansas thought they arrived and thought they were going to go into Georgia and upset the Bulldogs, and that got ugly. So, and they made a lot of teams look bad last year. So, but I think Alabama's got a little better team than Georgia this year. And Bennett is the quarterback. He's not looking over his shoulder anymore. And is he a difference maker type guy at quarterback? I don't know, but no way. Joe Tess, look in the mirror, bro. Your 2 standard bearer programs. I think the teams in your league that have to play Alabama and Georgia, their schedules are tougher than Alabama and Georgia, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the way it works that way.